Hey there you guys, it is me, RandomJosh, and I'm back again with another Face Mask Friday. And today, finally we are in October, which means one thing. It's Halloween time! Mwah. Anywho, if you would like to see how we achieved this gorgeous it-inspired look, so this is the Pennywise kind of go-to face. It is very popular right now, so hey, if you enjoy this one, you know, awesome. But yeah, it's super easy, super fun, and yeah, you can check out exactly how I achieved this right now. So to begin this look, we're obviously starting with some primer. I'm just using this Revolution primer. I believe it's Revolution anyway. And this is the pore primer. This just helps to conceal over any of those pores, because I have some pores throughout my T-zone and on my cheeks as well, and this just helps to smooth out those and make the skin look more flawless. And we're just jumping in as well now with some of the blemish green primer also. This just as well helps to cancel out any red tones. As this is, you know, a Pennywise clown look, we're obviously going for a pale look, so to try and get rid of some of those blemishes and the red tones in the skin, we're just using this primer all over the face and just, yeah, blending that through. So now we're just jumping in with the foundation. So I'm using my normal NYX foundation here, which is the Can't Stop Won't Stop. And I'm mixing that in with some of the Revolution SFX white base. So you can kind of control this ratio depending on how pale you want to go. I went quite pale, and I'm just using my beauty blender there just to mix that in. Now you can see there just how pale that went. And I did a more or less 50-50, but slightly more leaning towards the white. But if you want to kind of bring a bit more skin tone to this, then you can of course add more foundation, and you can use whatever foundation you're used to. Obviously this is just my go-to foundation, and I wanted to kind of incorporate it in just so it blends nicer. But of course, like I said, this is very pale. But no need to worry about how pale it is to begin with, because you can always darken it out with bronzers and contouring, which we will come to later. So yeah, I'm just covering the face now with my beauty blender, and you may have noticed I did start moving onto the neck there as well, because of course we are changing the colour of my skin. You want to blend that out with the rest of your exposed skin. So ears, as we're just doing now, and neck, because obviously, as you can see at the moment, my ears look completely disjointed from my face, and yeah, they look a bit crazy, so try and get it in there. It's a bit difficult to get the ears coloured, but do your best and work with what you've got. And yeah, and just make sure you get under your jaw and chin as well, just because those are areas that are very easy to miss off because you can't really see them. But yeah, so that is the foundation now, and as mentioned, we're going in with a little bit of contour just to bring some colour into the skin. Not ridiculous amounts, but just a small little bit, just so that we can kind of, you know, define certain parts of the face. So give ourselves a bit of a cheekbone, a jawline, and all of that fun stuff. So that was the Revolution, one of the Revolution contour and highlight sticks I should say. And now I'm just taking a buffing brush and just buffing that out into the rest of the makeup. Yeah, we're just kind of making sure that it blends well and doesn't look too harsh, but still adds that nice little bit of coloration. And now going in with some powder contour, and I'm using this just to kind of set that contour into place and darken it that little bit more, just because obviously when you blend in creams they do tend to blend a lot more. This just helps to kind of build that color up, and I'm actually taking this right around the face also, just so again we're covering every little bit. Obviously the lighting doesn't really show it as much, but it is coming out on my forehead. But yeah, just working that into all of the like little nooks and crannies, all of the contour zones, including the nose, the underneath of my lip, and of course the jawline. Just anywhere where a shadow would naturally form, you want to just, you know, add that in. And now just to kind of also set the rest of the makeup as well in place, because obviously this is very heavy, you want to just powder this out. So I've got some translucent powder there, and I'm just focusing it mainly on the high points of the skin just to help bake those as well. I'm not baking them for too long because I don't want it to go too crazy and pale myself out any more than I already am, but I just want to, of course, make sure that that makeup is looking set and flawless. So we're just applying that all over all of the white patches, and this also helps to kind of blend and tone down the bronzer also, just because sometimes it can be a little bit harsh, so it just helps to kind of marry all of those colors together nicely. So yeah, just continuing to buff that in. And now we're going into eyeshadow, and this is the Morphe 3502 palette, which is, I believe, called the Second Nature palette, and we're just taking that dark shade, the black in the bottom corner there, and just applying that pretty much all over the lid with a nice fluffy brush, and just working that in there, really trying to kind of give it the like tired, sunken eye look. So you just have to keep applying and blending this out till you get your desired depth and darkness. Now you don't want it to be too dark on the eyes, but you do want it to kind of marry in and blend well and have enough darkness that it looks, you know, spooky. So yeah, we're just doing the other eye now, and again just really taking that into every little nook and cranny of the eye, taking it underneath the eye, which can be a little bit of a pain, as you can see there, and yeah, just kind of drawing it out a little bit, making sure that we're getting up to the top corner of the eyebrow as well, but not too high, and into those inner corners as well. And now we're actually jumping into something fun, which is the SFX face paint palette from Revolution. So with this palette, we are basically just starting off with the lips. So I've taken that red colour at the bottom, which is the brighter of the reds, and I'm just colouring in my lips with a lip brush there. And we'll basically just start off with a nice red base, and then we can just work in some darker colours just to kind of give it a bit more dimension, a little bit more darkness, because this is very pink looking at the current moment, but of course you just keep building on it. And yeah, this is going to be probably the longer of the steps at the moment, just because I wanted to make sure that I was getting it very in there. I think I'm actually taking the darker shade right now into the inner corners of the lips and just trying to buff it out into the rest of the lips as well. Again, just to give a little bit of dimension and take it away from that pinky colour and more, get it more to the red. So yeah, we're still just applying now. Pretty much finished the lips. And I've actually just realised I haven't done my brows yet. How could I? So we're just brushing those out with our spoolie brush, and yeah, jumping into my usual brow product. And for once in my life, I'm actually, gonna do them fairly well. Yeah, just basically outlining the brows and filling those bad boys in. Pretty straightforward stuff. Not going too heavy because obviously the white makes it look a lot heavier anyway. It makes it look a lot more intense. And you can see that a lot more in this brow at the moment. But yeah, so we're just again filling in the brow as normal and brushing it out just to blend this out and make it a lot less harsh. And yeah, just making sure that we're getting every little bit even. So yeah, that is the brows done. And I think we're going to be jumping back into the palette now. Yes. So this bit is a little bit trickier. So we're going to want to draw the Pennywise line from the lip straight up into the eye. I do go off camera a little bit here just because I wanted to make sure that I'm getting this correct, because I do not have the steadiest of hands. So I started off with a thin line. Again, we're just using our lip brush just because it's a bit more thinner and has a little bit more precision behind it. So start off with the thin line and then thicken it as you kind of go along. This just helps to kind of clean everything up and make sure that you've got the kind of baseline there to follow. And yeah, we're just using the brighter of the reds and then just kind of working in some more colors, so darkening it a little bit later on and making sure that that color is strong and blended into the lips very, very well. So now we've got to take it over the eye. Just a nice easy straight line down on both from the eyebrow straight down to where it joins. Doesn't matter if you go off course a little bit, it should be fairly unnoticeable. And then just going above the eyebrow now and trying to get it off to a point. So yeah, using the corners of this lovely little brush very well just to extend it out and kind of build upon it. And then we're just doing touch-ups here, just to kind of make sure that it looks like it's basically going through the eyebrow, so there's no obvious disjoints between each of the parts. And again, just darkening the colors now, making them a lot more deep, dark and spooky, which is stunning. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can be as rough as you want. It's one of those, it's a Halloween makeup. It doesn't have to be neat lines, this, that, the other. Just have fun with it. I went a little bit off course there. But you can hardly tell. So that is that. And we're now actually just jumping in back into that Morphe palette and taking a nice fluffy blending brush with that reddish orange colour. I'm just using that to kind of buff into these lines now. I'm pretty sure you don't actually need to have the eyeshadow. You can probably just use the fluffy brush and just buff out the face paint lines, because that's where most of the colour will buff from. But I just wanted to use some eyeshadow just so that it helps set the makeup in place. And again, you can go as rough and aggressive with this as you want. Depends how intense you want the smokiness of this to be. So I wanted it to be fairly smoked out, because then again it can be quite rough, and that is my middle name. So now we are just painting on our lovely rouge nose. So again, just using that simple lip brush because it is literally a godsend to have, and just slowly and steadily applying it across the nose and make sure you get every little crevice. So yeah, that does mean going inside your nose a little bit, but it's not hard to kind of get off once you've applied it in there. And just, yeah, focusing on the kind of bottom half of your nostrils, and again you can just kind of build up as you go along. And we're just playing with the shades of red here. Alrighty there guys, so that is the tutorial and this is the finished product. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, make sure to let me know with a nice little thumbs up, and yeah, leave a comment down below for some other funky Halloween looks you would like to see me trial out. I have some ideas already, but I would love to see what you guys would like to see. Yeah, super fun, super easy, and like, I'm not the best artiste in the world, but I still think this looks stunning, and you can vamp it up to however you want. And if you do recreate this look, of course, let me know. You know, you can tag my social medias and all that good stuff. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see each and every one of you guys in the next video. Peace out, witches.